Have you ever been jolted awake in the middle of the night by a sharp, twisting pain in your calf? Imagine lying there, helpless, clutching your leg, just wishing for the pain to stop. If you're a senior or caring for an elderly loved one, you know how frightening and exhausting leg cramps can be. But what if I told you that just 3 everyday foods, yes, only 3, might be the key to stopping those cramps before they even begin? Welcome to Daily Elder Advice, where we offer real solutions for real people. Stick around until the end. This might be the breakthrough your restless nights have been waiting for. But before we dive in, take a moment and think, what does a good night's sleep mean to you? For many seniors, it's the difference between a joyful morning and a painful one. It's the ability to walk to the mailbox, play with grandkids, or go to the park without fear. And sometimes, the path to that kind of freedom begins with something as simple as breakfast. 1. Eggs. Margaret's story of strength restored. Margaret, a 72-year-old retired librarian from Oregon, had always lived an active life. She loved organizing book clubs, baking for her grandchildren, and tending to her backyard garden. But over time, a new, uninvited routine began to form, one that made her dread bedtime. Almost every night, just as she drifted off, she would be jolted awake by a stabbing pain in her calf. Sometimes it was so intense she'd cry out, clutching her leg and unable to move. She started sleeping with extra pillows under her knees, tried warm compresses, magnesium sprays, and even believed that placing a bar of soap under her bedsheet would chase the pain away. But nothing truly worked. That's when her granddaughter, studying to become a dietitian, gently asked, "Grandma, have you ever tried eating more eggs?" Margaret was skeptical. Eggs, she'd always liked them, but never thought of them as medicine. Still, she agreed to give it a try. She began having 2 boiled eggs with a slice of whole grain toast each morning. After just 10 days, she noticed fewer cramps. By the 3rd week, she was sleeping through the night. For the first time in months, she woke up refreshed and pain-free. What makes eggs so powerful? Eggs are nutritional powerhouses, especially for seniors. Each large egg provides 6 grams of complete protein, which supports muscle maintenance and repair. 40 IU of vitamin D in the yolk, essential for calcium absorption in healthy muscle contractions. 0.6 micrograms of vitamin B12, vital for proper nerve function. Vitamin B12 deficiency is common in seniors and can lead to poor nerve transmission, which contributes to cramps and tingling sensations. Meanwhile, vitamin D helps regulate calcium levels in the blood, preventing painful spasms. According to a 2020 study in Nutrients, seniors with vitamin D deficiency are significantly more likely to suffer from muscle cramps. Another review from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition emphasized the role of B12 in reducing muscle weakness and promoting nerve repair. But eggs don't stop there. They also contain choline, which plays a crucial role in maintaining the integrity of nerve cells. For seniors like Margaret, this means better communication between the brain, nerves, and muscles. In Margaret's case, this small dietary shift didn't just help her physically, it empowered her emotionally. She began sleeping through the night, returning to her book club, and spending more time in her garden. What began as a simple breakfast change rekindled the independence she thought she was slowly losing. "It's funny," she told her granddaughter one morning. "I spent months dreading bedtime. Now, I look forward to waking up." Margaret now calls her eggs her morning medicine. Her garden is flourishing again. And so is she. And the best part, it all began with a simple change to her breakfast plate. 2. Bananas. George's turnaround. George, an 80-year-old retired carpenter from Georgia, had built houses, raised 4 children, and fixed just about anything. But what he couldn't fix were the sudden cramps that locked up his legs in the middle of the night. The pain would come like a thief, sharp, paralyzing, and impossible to predict. At first, he brushed it off as just age. But when the cramps started happening during the day, while driving, shopping, even sitting quietly, George knew he needed help. One morning, while having breakfast with his grandson Ethan, he noticed the boy happily eating a banana. "Grandpa," Ethan asked, "why don't you eat bananas like I do?" George chuckled, but the question stayed with him. That afternoon, he picked up a bunch of bananas at the store. He started eating one each morning, sometimes sliced into oatmeal, other times playing with peanut butter. Within 2 weeks, the nighttime cramps became less frequent. After a month, they were nearly gone. Bananas are more than just a convenient snack. They're rich in potassium, approximately 420 milligrams per medium banana, which supports nerve signal transmission and prevents muscle spasms. Magnesium, approximately 32 milligrams, essential for muscle relaxation. Vitamin B6, approximately 0.4 milligrams, which aids in neurotransmitter production and reduces inflammation. According to a study published in the Journal of Clinical Neurology, low levels of B6 are associated with increased muscle tension and cramping in older adults. Bananas also provide natural sugars and fiber, making them an excellent choice for sustained energy without blood sugar spikes, particularly when paired with protein or healthy fat. But the impact wasn't just physical. George began walking his dog again, helping his neighbor with odd jobs, and even returned to his old bowling league. He noticed he wasn't just more active, he was happier. You'd be surprised what one little banana can unlock, he joked. Turns out, my legs just needed a little potassium and maybe a little hope. His story reminds us that healing often starts not in the pharmacy, but in the produce aisle. With consistency, intention, and a little curiosity, the most ordinary foods can yield extraordinary results. 3. Nuts and seeds. Emily's secret. Emily, a 76-year-old grandmother from Vermont, had always been the life of the party. She loved line dancing at her local community center and never missed a Saturday morning walk with her friends. But slowly, things began to change. She started skipping dance nights. Her morning walks turned into brief strolls around the block. Why? Chronic leg cramps. They started out occasionally, sharp spasms that gripped her calves and left her breathless. But over time, the pain became more frequent and more unpredictable. Some nights, it would wake her from deep sleep. Other times, it struck while she was standing in the kitchen, folding laundry, or climbing the stairs. She tried stretching, she drank more water, her doctor ran tests, but everything came back normal. It was frustrating, disheartening, and lonely. Then came a casual conversation with her neighbor, Sarah, who shared a simple routine that had worked wonders for her: a small handful of mixed nuts each day. Emily was skeptical. Nuts, that's it, but with nothing to lose. She gave it a try. She started adding almonds to her oatmeal in the morning, tossing pumpkin seeds into her salads, and snacking on a few cashews in the afternoon. By the second week, she noticed the cramps had eased. By the end of the month, she could walk farther without fear. And when the next community dance came around, Emily didn't just show up, she was the first one on the floor. So, what makes nuts and seeds so powerful for muscle health? These small, nutrient-packed foods are rich in magnesium, potassium, healthy fats, and plant-based proteins. Pumpkin seeds, 1 ounce, approximately 168 milligrams of magnesium, approximately 40% of daily needs. Almonds, approximately 77 milligrams magnesium, 200 milligrams potassium. Cashews, approximately 74 milligrams magnesium, 160 milligrams potassium. Walnuts and flax seeds, high in omega-3s, proven to reduce inflammation. Magnesium helps relax muscles and reduce nerve excitability. Potassium keeps fluid levels balanced and supports smooth muscle contractions. Omega-3s, especially in walnuts and flax seeds, fight inflammation in muscle tissue and improve circulation. A 2022 review in Frontiers in Physiology found that omega-3s significantly reduce post-exercise soreness and promote faster muscle recovery. In Emily's case, the difference wasn't just physical, it was emotional. Getting back to dancing gave her more than exercise. It gave her joy, confidence, and connection. I feel like myself again, she said, beaming after a full evening of dancing with her lifelong friends. And that's the beauty of it. Sometimes, healing starts with something as simple as a handful of nuts and the decision to believe that things can change. To maximize results, choose raw or dry roasted nuts without added salt. Portion control matters. About 1 ounce per day is ideal. You can sprinkle seeds on yogurt, add crushed walnuts to soups, or blend them into smoothies for extra nutrition. Don't underestimate the power of something so small. In the right combination, these little foods might just be the missing piece between you and a more comfortable, active, and joyful life. 4. Lifestyle habits to maximize nutrition. To get the most out of foods like eggs, bananas, and nuts, seniors should pair them with sustainable, health-conscious habits. Optimizing nutrition isn't just about eating the right things. It's about creating a body environment that absorbs, processes, and utilizes nutrients efficiently. First, stay hydrated. Older adults often don't feel thirsty, which leads to unnoticed dehydration, a major trigger for leg cramps. Make it a habit to drink 6 to 8 glasses of water daily, evenly spaced throughout the day. Water is best, but coconut water, light broth, and diluted fruit juice can also support hydration and electrolytes. Second, incorporate gentle movement daily, especially light stretching before bedtime. Simple exercises targeting the calves, quads, and hips boost circulation, relax muscles, and prevent nighttime cramps. Try gentle yoga poses, ankle rotations, or bridge exercises. Getting 15 to 30 minutes of morning sunlight helps your body synthesize vitamin D naturally. If sunlight isn't accessible, consult your doctor about supplements to support calcium absorption and muscle function, especially important when paired with eggs. Review your medications. Common prescriptions like diuretics for blood pressure, statins for cholesterol, or diabetes meds can deplete magnesium and potassium. If you take any of these, talk to your healthcare provider about appropriate supplementation. Equally important are sleep and mental well-being. Chronic stress and poor sleep quality can worsen cramping by overstimulating nerves. Practice calming rituals like meditation, deep breathing, or aromatherapy using lavender oil. These small adjustments significantly enhance muscle recovery overnight. Finally, a 15 to 20-minute evening walk aids digestion, reduces blood pooling in the legs, and improves nutrient delivery to muscle tissues. Just a short stroll each day can dramatically support your overall muscle health. When paired with nutrient-dense eating, these habits empower seniors not just to manage cramps, but to reclaim vitality, independence, and confidence. Before you click away from this video, pause and ask yourself, are you letting cramps quietly rob you of your health, your sleep, and your independence? If so, don't wait another day. Turn today's knowledge into action. Don't just watch this and move on like it's any other video. Go to your kitchen, prepare a boiled egg for breakfast tomorrow. Pick up a few bananas during your next grocery trip. Swap out the cookies for a handful of almonds. These small changes, repeated daily, can build a future of strength and relief. If you found this video helpful, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with your parents, your loved ones, your neighbors, or a friend who might be silently suffering. One video can change someone's life. Let's quickly review what we've learned. Eggs, not just breakfast, but a complete nutritional package for muscle, nerves, and restful sleep. Bananas, nature's muscle relaxant, packed with potassium and nerve-soothing compounds. Nuts and seeds, small but mighty, reducing inflammation and restoring balance. Healthy habits, hydration, movement, and rest to maximize all the above. Remember Margaret, George, and Emily? Their lives didn't change overnight, but they started with just one boiled egg, one banana, one handful of nuts. Now it's your turn. Tonight, what will you do differently? Swap your snack for a banana? Add eggs to tomorrow's breakfast? Keep a jar of almonds within reach. The answer to better sleep and fewer cramps might already be in your kitchen. No pills, no side effects, just food with the power to heal. At Daily Elder Advice, we believe that aging doesn't mean weakening, it means growing wiser. And wisdom begins by listening to what your body is quietly asking for. Tap like, subscribe for more heartfelt, science-based guidance, and please, share this with someone who deserves pain-free, peaceful nights. Your journey to better sleep starts with your very next bite. Stay strong, stay nourished. From our family to yours, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.